have you here. Got some beautiful faces out there, and then we got some other ones too. But anyway, we appreciate it. And so at this time, I'm going to turn it over to Councilman Buddy Fowler to lead us in a word of prayer.
Thank you, Mayor. Let's bow our heads. Father, we come to you tonight asking for your guidance and your help. Father, we know that our world is struggling, and we know that people are in dire need of a lot of things. Father, we still have a lot of sickness. We have a lot of people that are down and out. Father, we ask you to be with them, bless them, see them through their trying times, Father, as only you can do. Father, we're thankful for all those people that showed up tonight to watch us and give us guidance and support in doing decisions for your town. Father, we're thankful to have one of our people that's running for county commissioner here to join us tonight, hoping that he can certainly bring some peace to the county as well as to the state. Father, we ask that you continue to bless this town, bless all these people that's in our town, and bless the world, Father. We ask you continue to work and bring us to peace that only you can do. We ask in your most precious name. Amen.
Amen. And ask Councilman Don Helms if he'll lead us in our pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and you may be seated. We got a lot of important people here tonight. Well, we think they're important anyway. I don't know whether everybody thinks they are, but we think they are. Of course, we think everybody here is important people, and they are to us. We appreciate you being here, and thank you for all the things that you do. And you too, David, appreciate you being here. And anyway, like I say, we've got one person that we've got here is, we call him Mr. Shaco Taco. If he'll come forward at this time. He didn't leave, did he? Where'd he?
No, right there.
Oh, there he is. Okay. Oh, two Shaco Tacos. Okay. All right. I don't know whether any of you had, how many of you have ever eaten at the Shaco Taco? Everybody? I know, everybody has. Yeah. So you're not a new place, but I tell you what, they have done a fine job since they've been here. You've been here how many years?
It's our 5th year.
5th year? Okay. So, but they have done a fantastic job. Now, it is hard to get in there sometime because they do stay packed pretty much. But anyway, we have a certificate for them, and this is a certificate of recognition proudly presented to Shaka Taco. The town of Surf City proudly recognizes Shaka Taco as name of by Business of North Carolina Small Business of the Year in 2021, and is signed and sealed. And so you can put that up down there, so that right beside of your grave, and we appreciate it. Thank you a lot.
Thank you guys.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
You got anything you want to say?
What's that?
You got anything you want to say?
Tired?
You're tired?
No, so this is an award that they're recognizing for us. We got nominated by the North Carolina Business Journal to, we're a nominee for Business of the Year, and then once the year came out, we realized we were finalists, and they kept asking questions, and then we just submitted more essays and answered more questions, and finally they called us.
Finally got there, huh?
Yeah, you guys won. So it's really cool. There were 4 businesses in the state, and surprisingly enough, another one is a local girl, Corinne Kassab. She went to Dixon and has a counseling business in Wilmington. So the whole state, 2 of them were in her county, so that was really cool. But we were stoked. I mean, it's like, it's a really small town, and we're proud of it, and we work hard, and it was really cool to be recognized on that level. And thank you to you guys for bringing some more light to it.
Yeah, thanks for everyone for supporting too. We
Yeah,
really appreciate it.
You get all people to raise your hands. If you didn't raise your hand, deal here. So.
Well, I wasn't afraid to do that, because I know everybody did that. But one thing I'd like to say, they are excellent town citizens too. They do a lot of work just for the town, and like the beach sweeps and the ocean
Ocean Fest.
Ocean Fest, ocean cleaning up. I mean, they do a lot of work for the town, so we appreciate that too. Do what? There you go. Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, also we got some guys sitting on the back row back here. You may notice them when you come in. They have their life jackets on. They weren't scared of actually of this town hall sinking, but they've got some words of wisdom to deliver to us, so if you want to come forward. And this is National Boat Safety Week.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Mayor, distinguished council members, ladies and gentlemen, my name is David Parker, and I'm the safety officer of the local chapter of the U.S. Power Squadron. And as I believe you know, we're here asking for a proclamation to make May 21 through 27 Safe Boating Week in Surf City. We know we're among friends here. We've always enjoyed the encouragement and support we get in Surf City from this council and you folks here, and we're happy to be back. My colleagues here with me, this is our commander, Otis White, and this is our boating committee chairman, Ron Hoddes. And they are here just to kind of give me moral support and kind of show some of our swag we got here. My outfit really explains my message here tonight. Right now, I mean, today, we have in this country made really good strides in making recreational boating much safer. A lot of the risks that used to take people from us when they were boating have been eliminated or largely the risk resolved. And about the only way left that anybody dies in boating these days is drowning. Well, the fact is that it is just about impossible to drown if you have a life jacket on. But that brings me right to the main message here. And what I really am standing up here to say to you, your life jacket can't help you a bit if you don't have it on. So our whole message now, our Safe Boating Week message is, wear it. We need you to wear your life jacket. Don't just have it in the boat. What we find is that everybody has life jackets in their boats nowadays. I mean, there's nobody that doesn't have them there. But people think, well, I'm going to wait until there's trouble, and then I'll put it on. That's not going to work. That doesn't do any good. If there's trouble, it's too late. It's like waiting to put your seatbelt on in your car, driving down the road saying, well, I'll put it on when there's some kind of trouble. It's the same logic. You need to have your life jacket on from the start. And our message, what we're trying to do is get people to commit and to make it a habit to wear your life jacket from dock to dock, from the time you push off from your dock until the time you come back. The folks in this room, you are distinguished leaders, and you're leaders too, or you wouldn't be here. We all can be a great example to do this consistently on our own boats. And that's the greatest start we can make. That's our message here. That's our request. And that wonderful proclamation.
I got it.
We count on you to do.
I have. But I think one of the best things that ever happened was, of course, I think we may need to raise the age limit, but, you know, under 13, they have to wear a life jacket when they're on the boat. It is a rule or law. But we don't have a law that us older folks have to wear them, which I think it would probably be, I'm talking about Jeremy too. Yeah. But I think it would be a good idea if we were required to wear them, but we're not. So anyway, I guess I better not speak too loud, do people start getting mad at me about making new laws, right? Okay, so anyway, this is a proclamation from the town of Surf City proclaiming the week of May the 21st through the 22nd of 2022 as Safe Boating Week. And whereas the beautiful coast waters of Surf City represent a world-renowned recreational resource that residents and visitors alike are drawn to each year for water and beach activities. Whereas year-round people continue to enjoy all of our natural environment has to offer through the joy of boating, and whereas on an average 613 people die in the USA each year at boating-related accidents, with approximately 80% of these deaths caused by drowning, as you were saying. And whereas at approximately 86% of the drowning cases, the victims were not wearing their life jackets. So that's the reason they drowned. I mean, that's a lot of people that could have been saved if they'd just been wearing those life jackets. It is apparent that wearing a life jacket is the single most important factor in reducing boat-related deaths, and whereas the National Safe Boating Council, supported by the U.S. Coast Guard and other national organizations, has set May the 21st through the 27th as National Safe Boating Week. Now, therefore, it is hereby resolved that the Town Council of the Town of Surf City hereby proclaims May the 21st through the 28th, 2022 as National Safe Boating Week in this town, and urges all persons to wear a life jacket at all times while boating. Adopted this the third day of May of 2022, signed by our clerk and one of our commissioners. So there you are.
Thank you, sir.
Yes, sir. And I appreciate y'all coming and appreciate all your work through the year. Okay? Thank you. Also, next Thursday, and the preacher will be there, right, preacher? We will have the day of prayer, and it will be held at the Welcome Center. I had a little piece of paper somewhere. There it is. And it'll be held at the Welcome Center. It's at 12 o'clock. So come on up there, and we've got preachers that's going to talk to us, and we can even allow this preacher. Oh, the park, that's right. Sorry about that. We changed it. When did we change it? Year before? We changed it last year. Yeah. We used to meet at the Welcome Center, but we're going to meet at the park, and we did last year. I'm sorry. That was my mistake. But we've been doing this, I don't know how many years, before you came. So how many years you been here?
I've been here 13.
13, so it was before that time. But anyway, the Bible verse for that day, therefore, as you have received Jesus Christ, Lord, so walk in him, having been firmly rooted, and now being built up in him and established in your faith, just as you were instructed, and overflowing with gratitude. That's Colossians 2:6-7. So anyway, Bobby will have a lot more verses for you next Thursday, so come on up and join us. So you can come too.
Thank you. Thank you.
Probably do you good. But anyway, we appreciate each and every one of you coming. All right, now, where is our police chief? Would you come forward, please? This is also, I told you we got a lot of important people here. This is also National Police Week, and it's, so we got a proclamation for him also, whereas National Police Week was established in 1962 by President John F. Kennedy, along with a joint resolution of Congress to pay special tribute to those law enforcement officers who have lost their lives in the line of duty for the safety and protection of others. Whereas there are approximately 800,000 law enforcement officers serving in communities across the United States, including the dedicated members of the town of Surf City. And I've got to say that I feel like we have the best there is as far as our police. They do an excellent job. And anyway, whereas 619 new names of fallen heroes is being added to the National Law Enforcement Officers Memorial this spring, including 422 officers killed in 2021 and 141 officers who died the previous year. Whereas May the 15th, 2022 is designated as Peace Officers Memorial Day in honor of all fallen officers and their families. Now therefore, I, Douglas C. Medlin, Mayor of the town of Surf City, North Carolina, on behalf of Surf City Town Council, hereby proclaim the week of May the 11th through the 17th, 2022 as National Police Week. And this is for you, Chief, and you can put it up in your office. Thank you, sir. I appreciate it. And I guess most of you know he just took over about the first of the year as the police chief, but has done a fantastic job. Thank you.
Thank you for your support.
Yes, sir. Now, we have beautification. Oh, you did. You weren't. I thought you were leaving. I said, where's she going?
There's Sandy.
Anyway, yeah. You want to come up here and present these? We have beautification awards that we give every month. And so the first one is our business of the month, and it is...
Surf City Coffee.
Do we have somebody from Surf City Coffee?
There she is.
Yeah, there she is.
Well, that takes not just us. Jim Williams is a fantastic person, and I just want to let everybody know here, I am not a North Carolinian, but you all in this town have blessed me and introduced me to part of this family, like everybody's grandma. And I just want to thank you for the opportunity.
Right. We're all family.
Yes.
That's for sure. Okay, and then we have a house of the month. I don't know whether they're here or not. The Jenkins. Oh, yes, there she is. She was sitting right beside of you, wasn't she?
To 130 Saltwater Landing
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yes, and we thank you folks for making our town beautiful and keeping us awake too with the coffee. So we appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. I think that's about all of them, right? Yeah. Okay, at this time, we ask that all in attendance please set your telephones to silent or vibrate. The council offers a public period to where you can speak and bring up things that you want to bring up, but we just ask that you keep it in a civil manner and that you direct all questions to the council, not to one individual person. Okay, do you have,
Mayor,
oh, sorry.
we need to adopt the agenda and the consent.
Oh, I'm
agenda.
sorry, we got busy
I make a motion to
introducing.
adopt the agenda.
Okay,
Second.
second. All in favor, raise your hand. We got excited about all these people we had here. So, yeah, I wasn't finished yet. It was just coming up, wasn't it?
No, you're good.
Yeah, so we didn't miss it. It was just coming up. Anyway, okey-doke. So do I have a motion?
I make a motion, we approve the consent agenda.
Okay, can I have a second? Second. All in favor, raise your hand. Motion carried, so the consent agenda has been approved. And now public comment. Who do we have for public comment?
Miss Sandy Monroe. Sandy Monroe
Put that time on her.
from 316 North Shore Drive. I just have two quick things. I wanted to say thank you to the town for supporting our street sweep that we had a couple of weeks ago. We had about 30 people show up. It wasn't quite as big as our one in December. I think that freezing cold wind kind of kept everybody at home. I wanted to thank the Daily Grind for hosting us again, Surf City Shuttle for offering free transportation, and all of the businesses that donated gifts for our drawing at the end. And we do plan to have another street sweep at the end of summer. We may choose to do this as a beach access sweep, so hopefully a lot more people can come out at the end of the summer and get us ready for Labor Day weekend. The second item I have is just a reminder for the upcoming event we have on Monday, May 9th at 6 p.m., and it is a speaker series about using native plants in coastal landscaping. And the two main speakers that we'll have are from the NC State University Cooperative Extension Office and the NC Coastal Federation. And you'll learn about smart yards, rain gardens, and choosing the best plants to put in your yard here for our area. And they'll cover Soundside, oceanfront, and inland. So something for everyone. So grab your neighbors and come on down and let's continue to beautify our town. Thank you.
And that's going to be where now?
Oh, I'm sorry, at the Welcome Center.
Welcome Center. Okay.
6 p.m.
Thank you.
Should last about an hour and a half, and there will be time for question and answers at the end.
All righty. I appreciate it. Everybody likes pretty plants, so. All right, who's next?
Jenny Rouse.
Hello. Hello. Really, or a big hook to pull me off. I only have a couple of things, even though I have a little notepad here. I know there's been a few things on wonderful Facebook about moving the time of the town hall meetings to later, so people that work will have the opportunity to come. I know years ago, they used to be, around 6:30, I think, 7. So maybe that could be an opportunity to, just get more people involved. The second thing, I brought it up last year about the cul-de-sac behind Blackbeard's and Max's. It's become a speedway. Last Sunday night or a week ago, it was 11:30 at night, and they were drag racing. They go to the cul-de-sac, turn around, and then peel out, and then they come back. And anyway, so I don't know if y'all can, police officers can do anything about that. And little skateboarders, that's there was a car with the lights on, and the skateboarders were skateboarding in between at 10 o'clock at night. Anyway, and the final thing, I went through Hurricane Andrew back, I can't even remember when. We lived in the Florida Keys, and I went through Florence. It's less than a month for hurricane season to start. And I'm just curious whether or not y'all have come up with a plan with these with these roundabouts. Normally, people can't get them going in the right direction. And have y'all come up with a plan, which I'm sure you have, to evacuate? Since we're, if there's a little piece of land, somebody's going to build on it. Building is my personal opinion. You know what that is, but it's way too much, and there's going to be a bigger evacuation than when Florence. So, and I know we couldn't get back on the island for almost a week after Florence because of the sand on the road and water and sewer. So that was just something I wanted to bring up to see if you have come up with something, and if you're going to post, how it's going to be. And, I know it has to be so close to us, but maybe some of the people that aren't familiar with hurricanes, I'm Florida born, Florida raised, so I'm very much aware of them. But I know there's a lot of people that come from up north that really have no idea. So that's all. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. And I have been here since Hazel. So that was in 1954. So I've been through a few of them. And we keep getting better and better, don't we, Chief? Of course, one thing about it, the reason we have to is because, like she said, we have more and more people. But I'm sure they have a plan right now that will easily get everybody off. The bridge may be made one way to get everybody off if they have to. Of course, you can have 2 lanes of traffic coming off and 1 going on for emergency if you have to. That bridge is wide enough for that. So, I mean, we have a lot of advantages, but we also have to work with our neighboring towns. And usually what happens is we have Topsail Beach to evacuate a little earlier than we do, so that those people have time to get off before the Surf City people have to try to get off. So there's a lot of planning goes involved in going into it, but they do. They always have their plans, and they've already planned this year, so they got it in order. Just hopefully don't need it, but you know. But you're right, and you know, you've been through some of them, so you know how they are. So, but we'll just hope we're blessed and don't have any this year. So, if we don't, then we won't worry about it. But if we do, we are prepared. And James is our emergency manager officer, and he has a lot of stuff, and they've done a lot of work on that, getting prepared in that area too. So we just appreciate you bringing it up. Okay, we got somebody else?
Mr. Jimmy Tate.
Absolutely.
Jimmy who?
Mr.
Jimmy who?
I think it's Tate.
Now, I'm almost to recognize you. You're going to put a timer up there. Well, good evening. I'm Jimmy Tate, 80231 North Topsail Drive. And I first want to say congratulations to our police chief tonight for a National Police Week. Can we join me, residents, and give him a big round of applause, please? Thank you. I've been privileged and blessed to live in a lot of places, but really the Surf City Police Department here is one of the finest among the finest. I will tell you, 5:30 this morning I called them. They were right to my house, and I think they tell me, Mr. Tate, we're glad for the election to get over as soon as it can possibly get over. But I want to remind you all that of your civic duty on May 17th, and that's why I'm here today to talk to you about, is to please exercise that right that you have, that our founding fathers gave us, to go out and vote on that day. Now, I don't care who you vote for, but just remember the name Jimmy Tate. Okay, but I also want to remind you all that we have a wonderful town council here. You got Councilman Shugarts and Councilman Batts and others who are planning a very special events, buddy, on May the 10th at Councilman Shugarts' event at his center at Daily Grind. And I want to ask you all to come and join us that day so we can ask questions. You can ask me questions and get to meet me that day as well, and support us in this journey. And if we're successful, I'm going to be back in your commission, at your council meeting, and bring you a weekly report, monthly reports. And if I'm not, I'm going to still come back and support you as well. And if you want to know how you can support our endeavors, buddy, just all you got to do is talk to Councilman Batts, and she can tell you. She's leading by example. So thank you all so very much for allowing me to be here tonight. And remember the name Jimmy Tate.
That it? Oh, you got another one?
Mickey Tucker.
Oh, Mickey, I knew Mickey was coming up. She said she was. She's been gone on a trip.
I'm going to need more time. Mickey Tucker, 1222 South Shore Drive. I was gone for 3 months. I got back February 1st, had my knee surgery on February 2nd. I'm 12 weeks out, back playing tennis 3 times. Thank you very much. But I'm glad to be back, and I know y'all are so glad to see me back in case I have anything to say. It is National Policeman Week, and that's what I want to talk to all of you about tonight. I've had some unsettling news. When I had my knee surgery, I hired a woman to come in and help me clean. I do all my own cleaning, very proud of that. But I had to hire somebody to come in and help me. Her first day to come in was February 15th. I've been missing some things, but I thought maybe I was hiding them. Couldn't find any of my gold jewelry. So she was caught on tape last Monday pilfering through a fellow cleaner's car, stealing $225. So the person who shared her name with me came to my house and said, "Are you missing anything?" And I said, "Yes," but I didn't want to accuse anybody until I was sure. I've got everything out of my closet. Anyway, long story short, I came to the police chief last Friday at 4 p.m. My son said, "Mom, don't do it. We know her partner. You know, we can get your stuff back." I said, "I want to go know my options." So I came and saw Chief Phil. In 30 minutes, he had assured me that there was a process that we could pursue. He told me to go back home. I said, "I have to go do my exercise, ride my bike for my knee." He said, "Be home at 5 o'clock. I'll have 2 officers there." The 2 officers were there exactly at 5 o'clock. The officers took my statements. 5:10, the detective came. Wonderful, wonderful Detective Cable. She has a database that she can put in anyone's name, and it goes anywhere in the United States to a pawn shop. At 5:10, she got to my house. At 5:20, she said, "This person has deposited a lot of jewelry at National Pawn on Dawson Street in Wilmington." This database that the police use, only the detective gets to use it. The police chief, the policeman. She holds it close to her vest, and she is wonderful. I did not get to see it, but she had me explain the jewelry that was lost. I recovered 29 pieces at 9 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning. It was quick work. It was beautiful work. So thank you, Chief Phil, and she did call Monday morning to the Surf City Police and said she was ready to turn herself in, but we did not pick her up. I don't know where she is now. But anyway, I do have half of it back. Thank you, everyone.
I'm sure the police will get up with her, too. I'm sure he'll be getting up with her. Okie doke. Anybody else?
Trudy Solomon.
Trudy. That's right. Talk about
Want to talk about what?
Turtle.
I am. I wear my turtle shirt. It is. I do. I know. I just feel. I do. I'm Trudy Solomon. I live at 1113 South Shore Drive, down the street from Mickey. Hey, my mom's here. Okay. Anyway, I know many of you, and I'm thankful. There's my pastor. Yeah. But I am here to talk about turtles. So I just feel like it should be said. Sunday was May 1st, so it's the beginning of turtle nesting season, and Miss Jean retired last year, and so we have a new director and lots of good things going on, and so I just wanted to comment that we're always looking for any town effort to help people understand. We had so many new visitors on the beach last summer who'd never been to Topsail. There's all these people coming, and they don't even, and I had a guy who said, he says, "What are you?" I was out on the beach. He goes, "What are you doing?" I said, "Well, we were here to protect turtles." He goes, "Turtles? There's turtles on the beach?" And I was like, "Yeah." I mean, it's just interesting. I've never had that, and I've been with them for 9 or 10 years, and so it's just more new people. It's okay, and it's fun, and we like to educate them. And so I'm excited this year. And if you follow the trends of the sea turtles and the project that we've been a part of with the University of Georgia, we've collected an egg from each nest, and we've tracked the DNA, and we know mama turtles come and nest every 2 to 3 years, and so we've tracked them, and we know they lay about 4 nests, 3 to 5 nests every season, and then they take 2 or 3 years off. So if you see that, we've been in this program for 10 or 11 years, and so now we can see this year is going to be big. I'm just letting you know, this year's going to be big. And so I'm one of the coordinators. I handle everything, all the nests from the Surf City Pier to the Topsail Beach line. And there's 5 areas, and I'm one of the area coordinators. And so we're really excited. And there's my low year, I had 13 nests, but a big year, I'll have like 25. So we had 101 nests last year. I'm going to guess, I mean, it's totally a gamble, but I'm going to guess we'll probably have like 180 this year. So just wanted to educate everybody to say nesting season started. Our walkers are out on the beach. Very thankful for all the towns, how they've accommodated us because the parking rules have changed, but we're off the beach way before any parking happens. So that works out good, and we're not back on the beach later for hatchings until after parking stuff ends. So that's worked out really well. We haven't had any issues. But we do have 2 events we want to try to educate our town about. We have a thing called Turtle Talks. So on Monday mornings at 9 a.m. at the Assembly Building down in Topsail Beach, we're educating our visitors about turtles for about an hour. You bring a chair and sit out there behind the Assembly Building and we talk about turtles. And on Tuesday mornings at 9 a.m. we do it in the North Topsail Beach Town Hall Building and educate people about turtles and stuff. So it helps our visitors find something when they first hopefully arrive Saturday, Sunday. I'm sorry, that they can come and learn how you could keep your lights off and fill in your holes and do some things like that. And I just wanted to make, an official start to the season announcement about that. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Miss Trudy.
Thank you, Trudy.
And Miss Trudy's mama, you can be proud of her too. Okay.
One more.
One more. Oh, okay.
Kathleen Sumner.
All right.
Okay, I'll be quick. First, I can't even begin to tell you how thrilled I am with the police presence in Surf City. They are doing a fabulous job everywhere. I also want to say that town services are going great. The trash pickup is done, and when they miss something because it's too dark when they come by, our trusty town manager is always there to take care of that, which is fabulous. And he is a fabulous town manager. Don't let another town steal him. The other thing I wanted to talk about is on the app. The categories on the app are a little bit limiting, so we need to talk about that. Another issue is we have a one-way street when you're coming on North Shore, and then there's the park, and then you can't go back in your golf cart on North Shore because it's one way. So you either have to go out on the busy road in the summer, or you cut through the parking lot of the park and go down that little dirt path that gets you to Easy Street. So I would like the town to consider not letting a house be built there, but putting a path there for the golf carts to keep them off the main drag, especially during season. We're starting the fire hydrants now that the water's been turned back on. I would love it if the town council would consider giving me some coupons to give the homeowners for using their water and electricity to clean the fire hydrant on their property. The water meter replacement has been going fabulous. They're well-mannered, they're quick, they don't interrupt the traffic in your neighborhood. They're doing a great job. As far as the hurricanes go, I'd like to tell you, as a scuba diver, the water is extremely warm. We're going to have a bad season. The traffic light on Pender, we really, really, really need. Also, I want to tell you, I've been doing the beach every day. My skin's going off my feet, but the beach is not bad with trash or dog poop. Yay, citizens. The council's doing an excellent job, and Ms. Batts, you are stunning today. And the only thing I don't know what we need to do, maybe we need to get I'm afraid to sometimes go up to the military guys who have dug these caverns on the beach, and they leave them, and then the turtles are going to get caught in there and die. So maybe we need something to do about that, because I'm afraid of them, personally. Thanks.
Okay. Are we through now? Okay. All righty. Now we have a public hearing, and I have a motion to open the public hearing, which is on the budget ordinance of 2022-2023.
I'll make the motion to enter a public hearing.
Okay.
I'll second.
Got a second, and all in favor? Aye. Okay, motion's carried. Okay. All right. Kyle, your public hearing is open.
Okay, Mr. Manager. Thank you, or excuse me, Mr. Mayor and Council. Thank you for the introduction of the budget. This is a process that does not just start in the spring, but really carries over the entire fiscal year, which runs from July 1 to June 30th. So, we're here tonight to start looking to potentially adopt the budget for next fiscal year, which begins on July 1. So in accordance with Section 159-11 of the North Carolina General Statutes, I am pleased to present the proposed North Carolina fiscal year 2022-2023 budget for the town of Surf City for your review and consideration. The budget is a sound financial plan and follows the council's goals and objectives. All sections of the proposed budget are in conformance with the Local Government Budget and Fiscal Control Act as amended. A balanced budget for the upcoming fiscal year or an interim budget must be adopted by June 30th, 2022. Pursuant to North Carolina General Statute 159-12, a public hearing on the proposed budget is being held today, Tuesday, May 3rd, 2022 at 4:30 p.m. here at the Surf City Municipal Complex. This date was advertised for public notice, and copies of the budget were made available to local news media. They were on the website and then out in the lobby. The proposed fiscal year 22-23 Surf City budget is balanced and totals $28,421,356 for all operations of the town. The budget is spread over the following funds: General Fund, $15,816,508. Accommodations Tax Fund, $2.8 million. Water and Sewer Fund, $6,499,199. And the Beach Renourishment Fund at $3,305,650. The town's capital improvement budget is being included for consideration within the budget ordinance adoption process. The town's largest single source of revenue continues to be from property taxes. Next year, this figure is estimated at $7,189,908 and amounts to some 45.5% of general fund revenues anticipated for fiscal year 22-23. At the time this proposed budget was being prepared and based on numbers provided by Pender and Onslow County tax departments, the town is using a tax base figure of $1,783,782,046. This figure is applied to the current tax rate of 41 cents per $100 in valuation and a tax collection rate of 98.3%, generating $7,189,908 in property tax revenues. Each cent of property tax generates about $175,345 in revenue. Onslow County completed their most recent property reappraisal for all properties, including Surf City. As a part of this, local governments are required to prepare a revenue-neutral rate for consideration, which is part of your budget package. The rate is required to be calculated and published by local governments, but need not actually be adopted for the coming fiscal year. The revenue-neutral tax rate calculated is 37.33 cents per $100 evaluation. The second largest source of general fund revenue is derived from local sales tax, which is anticipated to be $2,450,973 in the upcoming fiscal year, and the third being parking fees of $1,344,350. The fourth being solid waste user fees of $1,281,000. Water and sewer fees collected in the town's water and sewer fund generated $6,499,198 for the utility's separate operation. Other revenue sources, such as interest income and a variety of state-collected revenues, are projected to be flat this upcoming year or have slight increases for the foreseeable future. There's a 2 to 3 month lag in receiving some of these revenues, so the annual trend is not easily observed. Expenditure estimates were compiled and formulated by the budget officer and finance director based upon written requests and justifications submitted by the various department heads. These requests were made available for council review and included in the budget workbook. Each department's request was given thorough consideration based on current and prior year expenditures, proposed work program needs, inflationary trends, and a review of respective departmental operations. All revenue estimates in the budget are based upon recommendations provided by the North Carolina League of Municipalities, county tax values, current contracts and figures provided by department heads that have revenue collection responsibility, and actual revenues received during the fiscal year. Expenditures are being budgeted very conservatively to ensure that they do not exceed anticipated revenues. There are two dominant expenditures in which the budget is accounting for this year. These are the first one being the second payment on a new fire truck, which we do anticipate delivery of both those trucks, hopefully in July. Chief, I think I see you. Thank you. And implementation of the recently approved pay study. Although revenue projections have been showing positive trends, these dedicated expenditures made it that much more difficult to try and meet the needs of the town when it comes to major expenditures, such as increases in personnel, vehicles, and equipment. These expenditures are shown within the fiscal year 22-23 budget without a tax increase. And I do want to add, Mr. Mayor and Council, that in looking at budget cuts, we do make it a point to certainly not reduce service delivery to our residents. So when we do have to make difficult cuts, it's taking those into consideration. Personnel costs compose 44% of our expenditures and include salaries, federal liabilities, health insurance, retirement, workers' compensation, and other related federal and state employer costs. Workers' compensation, property and liability, and flood insurance rates are estimated to decrease by 3%. However, we will see increases in other employer costs as they are tied to running an operation for the town. Budgeted expenditures for capital improvements are conservative over the next fiscal year because of revenue shortfalls, economic conditions, and the desire to conservatively balance the budget. However, I will say that you all have worked hard to make sure that we continue to fund major capital projects, also to include appropriations towards the Earl G. and Inez Batts Recreation Complex, which is a huge undertaking over the next several fiscal years. So some general fund revenue highlights is that the revenues increased over last year by 10.27%. Our increase in solid waste user fees, we will see a 3% increase due to renewal contract with our current vendor. However, there is no property tax increase proposed with the budget being presented. Our personnel highlights: employees of the town serve as our #1 asset of the organization. The total workforce is projected for 98 full-time employees, 5 permanent part-time employees, 28 seasonal, and 18 part-time fire personnel. These figures include the addition of 2 new full-time positions, which are a IT technician, which is a newly created position to work under IT department, which is currently a department of 1, and then also our wastewater treatment plant operator. This is not a new position, however, just an additional position for our utility operation and how we manage our wastewater. Based upon usage and age and gender trends, again, as I mentioned before, the insurance premium rates with Blue Cross and Blue Shield are estimated to renew with a 9% increase. Our cost this past year of $616.58 per employee per month may rise to $741.04, which we will not know the actual cost until August. Other supplemental insurance, we certainly work hard to shop the market and get the best rates that we possibly can for our folks. General fund capital projects include, as I mentioned, an additional $147,000 appropriation for the Earl G. and Inez Batts Recreation Complex. And this is on top of the $1 million that we anticipate or have anticipated receiving in grant funding. $100,000 going towards our facilities and grounds for streets projects per our pavement condition plan. The continuation of additional emergency management handheld radios. This was a 4-year acquisition timeline, appropriating $20,000 each year. Setting aside $75,000 to fund the rebuild of the Soundside Park Public Safety Boathouse and Lift. And then an additional $25,000 towards an island stormwater project or a plan. And I'll talk a little bit more about that in my manager's report, Mr. Mayor and Council. So fund balances, the general fund, we will finish this budget year with an estimated general fund balance of approximately $9 million. That's 31% of general fund expenditures. So in comparison, the total general fund balance at June 30th of 2021 was $8.7 million or 28% So we have grown that fund a little bit over the year, and the town expects fund balance to increase by $258,000 in fiscal year 22-23. Beach nourishment, these funds are leftover occupancy tax disbursements, as well as a portion of our property taxes and paid parking revenues. The estimated reserve at June 30th, 2022 will be approximately $20,695,000, which we are still waiting on the last 25% to come from FEMA, but that is our estimate, and as soon as we get through the budget, we'll be making sure we are getting the final payment of this. And this is for our sand haul project after Hurricane Florence, so you can see how long it takes for the town to recuperate funds after an event. But that fund will end at the end of the fiscal year very healthy, again at $20,695,000. Water and Sewer Fund, which comprises of the water and sewer activities. This fund closed fiscal year 21-22 with a combined unrestricted net position of $13,715,011. In summary, the fiscal year 22-23 budget represents many hours of review and work by the town council, department heads, and staff. Overall, this budget reflects the council's service priorities for the citizens, meets the council's stated goals and objectives, and is responsive to townwide needs while reflecting a conservative approach to municipal revenues and expenditures. Through the presented budget, it shows a reflection of the good stewards you are the town's resources. And on behalf of the administrative and finance staff, department heads, and all employees, I am pleased to present this proposed budget of the town of Surf City for the next fiscal year to you, Mr. Mayor and Council, for your consideration, review, and potential adoption. And that is the conclusion of our budget message, and provides a very high-level overview of what the budget looks like. And then within the ordinance includes several key factors to include all expenditures and revenues, setting the tax rate, and also adopting a fee schedule and capital improvement plan, and employee grades and classifications. So I am more than happy to answer any questions that council may have, respond to any public comment if I can, and then also Mr. McCall is here, I believe, in case there's any
in the back.
Any questions that council may have.
Okay, we'll start down at this end. Any questions you got?
No, I do not.
You don't? Okay, buddy, you got any questions?
No, I think they've done a good job working on it and trying to get what we ask. Appreciate all the efforts they've done in presenting a balanced budget without any tax increase.
All right. Okay, Ms. Teresa.
I will agree with Buddy, and want to thank Dave and all the finance department, along with all the employees and department heads that work together to put together a balanced budget without increasing taxes.
Mr. Dunn.
I have very little to add, except I appreciate the effort that you and all your people have contributed to getting this budget adopted. Our employees are our main asset to keep this town in the shape it's in, and I appreciate the pay study and us going forward with the pay study, and that's it.
Okay, Mr. Jeremy.
I'm in.
You're in?
We're good, I'm in, 100%.
Okay. The only thing I'd like to say is, I mean, of course, we always look toward David or the town manager when we talk about budget, but it takes every department and every employee working smartly to come up with a good balanced budget and still have what we need to carry the town forward. So that's what we appreciate. I mean, all of them work hard. All of them are looking at trying to save money any way they can. So we appreciate that. Okay.
Do you need a motion?
Yeah, we need a motion.
I make a motion, we approve the budget.
Mayor, this is a public hearing, so
Oh, okay. Sorry. Does anybody out there want to say anything?
we motion to close the public hearing, then we could entertain a motion.
I make a motion, we close the public hearing.
I'll second it.
All in favor, raise your hand. Okay. Public hearing is closed. Do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I make a motion, we adopt the agenda.
Do I have a second?
I will second.
Okay, all in favor, raise your hand. Okay, motion carried. All right, budget is adopted. Next, okay, Kyle, you got something else for the manager's report?
Yes, sir. I've got just a couple of things on here as an update from last month. So the first thing being the federal project update. So since our last council meeting, the town met with the Corps to discuss their progress on the validation report. And again, the validation report was the necessary document which the Wilmington District had to produce and send to our Atlanta division to essentially validate a Surf City only beach nourishment project. So the results of the meeting were generally positive. The positive highlights are based on the overall reception from the division office in Atlanta, who is tasked with making the final decision on the project. The recalculated benefit cost ratio for a Surf City only project came in at a 3-to-1 ratio. So any federal project to receive funding requires a minimum of 1-to-1. The federal government wants to make sure that there is a benefit cost ratio for any dollar spent. So what that means is we're 3 times what the federal government is going to look at in order to consider funding a project. So we are still on track to receive final word from the Corps by the end of May. So I just wanted to present that, even though I've shared that with council, and I believe we've got some updates on our website just with this general information. Just real quick, we certainly staff appreciate the opportunity to provide the tour of the wastewater treatment plant to look at the recently completed Headworks project several weeks ago. And then I was able to take Councilman Koloski out to Juniper Swamp this morning to observe that operation. So I appreciate your interest in that, and certainly council's interest in the operations in which town staff are working under. So I hope you learned a little something that maybe you just might not want to work out there, but. As mentioned during public comment, the AMI meter replacement, this is a huge project that the town has undertaken. We're still about 2 months out for that project to be completed, and then which takes us to the end of June, and then hopefully by the end of July, the customer portal will come online, giving our residents access to their water bill and their water usage that gets updated for you every hour, I believe every hour, and then basically every minute we can see updates. So once that project is completed, staff will come back to council and provide you a presentation so you can kind of see the inside workings of how all that is. And then we have been able to, just by the meters that we have replaced, we've been able to identify leaks in what we call the private side of the water system, and notify property owners or the bill payers that they may have a leak and might want to consider hiring a plumber to fix that. And that's kind of the technology base in which the town is moving towards. And I've read a few articles over the last month where this technology is being highlighted, to where the example I looked at was in Houston when they had that big freeze. The government was able to look at water line breaks at these and get the water shut off before major damage occurred. So there's just some highlights, and I think there's a lot of positive with the project, and just wanted to let you know that. We've been tracking a grant submittal through Golden Leaf on some stormwater work on South Shore. So we do have a meeting set up for on Friday to meet with representatives of Golden Leaf, and that's the Site 6. I've been in conversation with a representative of the community behind the site to try to make sure we can do everything we can to maintain the integrity of the secondary dune in this location. It's our hope that the design will allow any stormwater infiltration infrastructure to be placed closer to the road and have no impact or we're able to mitigate any potential impact to see the benefits of that project. The Resilient Coastal Communities Program, this was a grant program that we are working on under. It's a 4-phase grant project. Phases 1 and 2 we started and have wrapped up, and I'm happy to say that all 3 towns are seemingly in agreement and presented to the Topsail Island Shoreline Protection Commission yesterday to recommend we move forward with another joint application for Phase 3 of the RCCP program. We will be applying for engineering design of roadside stormwater projects to capture, retain, and filter out stormwater in areas that typically sit in the street. So we know that there's multiple benefits of trying to keep that off of our infrastructure. The primary one being degradation of asphalt and subgrade, and if we can keep that water off, we want to do that. The design amount will be capped at approximately $130,000 for the entirety of the project, and once completed, we'll be able to apply for Phase 4 for the actual construction of a project associated with that. Another goal of this we'll also try to develop a template that can be used in other locations that may not be receiving funding through this program, but maybe the town staff can use to address hotspots per se across the island or even other areas on the mainland. I mentioned to you the Onslow Fire Fund. So as of late this afternoon, I was in conversation with the Onslow County manager, and their budget continues to include a dedicated fire fund to be distributed to each municipality with an executed memorandum of understanding. So it's projected that this amount will be approximately $140,000 and we'll be able to offset town expenditures. And you'll note, we did not address this or identify this as a revenue within the upcoming budget. So if this does come to fruition, we'll probably be asking council to adopt that MOU and then receive the funds into fiscal year 22-23. So hopefully that'll come to fruition, and they have their next meeting on June 6th at 11 a.m. at Onslow County. So if you know any of them up there, please show your support for that. Again, I was going to mention the Beautification Enhancement May 9th of that meeting with Cooperative Extension and the Coastal Federation on native coastal landscapes and stormwater projects for homeowners. Again, May 9th, 6 to 7:30 at the Surf City Welcome and Event Center. We just last week were able to attend what's called City Vision, which is the North Carolina League of Municipalities annual conference. It was 2 days in Wilmington, so again, positive. We were able to just drive down there and not have to stay and spend money on hotel and food. And so it was a good networking opportunity, but also a good opportunity to hear about potential grant funding on the second day tied to the American Rescue Plan Act, and especially how we may have the opportunity to advance our stormwater planning efforts through these funds. Which is not very common to get stormwater grant funds for planning type purposes. So as you know, we've kind of been working on a project and trying to narrow down a scope with a selected engineer. So hopefully we'll be able to utilize or apply for, and if we're able to receive these funds, utilize them towards that project. So I did want to make you aware of that, and I'll continue to work with Price, our utilities director, on their efforts to define a scope for our study. At the end of this week, Thursday and Friday, Mayor Medlin and I will be attending the North Carolina Beach Inlet Waterway Association Conference, in which we'll have the opportunity to meet with Colonel Bennett Thursday morning before his presentation to the association. The agenda also includes updates from coastal management and a myriad of other agencies on best practices for protecting our beaches, inlets, and waterways. And I think that the City Vision Conference was probably the first conference we were able to really go to, post-COVID. So it's good to be able to network with other towns and see what they're up to. I had given an update to council, but working with Jones Onslow Electric to apply for and hopefully receive funding to place 2 level 2 EV chargers or electric vehicle chargers in town. So our plan is to place one here at Town Hall, which may open up opportunities to look at fleet decisions, with town vehicles, whether that be a new police cruiser or whether that just be general administrative services or community development, or the public can certainly use that site. And then the other one being located on the island in front of Old Town Hall, which is 214 North New River Drive. So I'll certainly keep you up to speed on that. And the anticipated model for that would be Jones Onslow installing these, and then the town essentially taking care of the electric bill on it, because it would be a free to charge at these sites. So we'll gather what the impact of that is and bring it back to council, so you can take a look at that. But I think more and more town staff hears, you all probably hear, the need for EV chargers for people coming and visiting the beach. So there's kind of a gap between auto manufacturers and who's really responsible for this. I have my own personal opinions on that, but again, if there's opportunities to seek grant funding and get some of these installed to accelerate that process, then we certainly want to. And then the next thing, until we have 100% resident participation in our town app, I'm going to continue to try and promote this where I can. So this is just another shameless plug for our residents and property owners and visitors. Even if you're not a Surf City resident, to download our mobile app. It's called My Surf City, and you can download that in the Android or Apple realms. And if you have comments or suggestions on the app, please get those to us. It's very easy for us to update that, and we just want it to be useful for you. So bring those to us, and we'll be happy to look into it. And Mr. Mayor and Council, that's the update that I have for you.
Okay, anything else? All right. Let's go to council forum. Jeremy?
Yeah, I'll start off.
You shaking your head, I see.
For sure. Well, before I get started, I want to say it is crazy how these citizens get up here and they talk so eloquent. They don't and ah, and they really give it to us. Yeah. I don't mean it in a bad way, but you speak so well, and it's enjoyable listening to what y'all have to say. I talked with Councilman Fowler yesterday, and I've talked with Teresa and Doug. I want to talk to you about parking. I want to be on the record about this process. So last week, I had an individual came into my coffee shop in front of about 100 people, and he handed me his parking ticket and says, "You pay it," and walked out. I thought that was exciting. So I want to talk to you just for a minute on my take on this statistically, so we're on the same page of how I feel about this process and what this council has done. So when we become elected officials here, our objective is to obviously look out for the community. That is 100%. That's why you elected us to look out for you. And we have to figure a way out to raise money to run our city. I don't know if anybody knows this, and I'm not being facetious, but it costs a lot of money to run a city. And so the big thing that we're faced with daily is, do we raise taxes? What do we do to raise money to run a city? We've looked at luxury taxes, food taxes, beverage taxes. We've looked at anything we could, assessments, to raise money. So at all costs, I know that the mayor, Mr. Fowler, Helms, John, I know Teresa, we are not going to raise taxes at all costs if we cannot, for any reason. So 27 beach communities in North Carolina, approximately, give or take one or two, and they all do paid parking now. And here we are, I think we're the only one, I believe, that does not charge their tax-paying homeowners to park. That was one of the things that we wanted to do, was look out for our citizens, look out for them. Sandy Monroe, you live in Surf City, is that correct? You live in Surf City, you get 2 parking free passes. You live in Saltwater Landing, not even on the island, you get 2. Okay? You're a business owner, you get 4. We cannot look out after our citizens any more than we have at this process. So I had somebody come in and said, well, what about Hampstead? It's not fair for Hampstead. And I said, where do you live? She says, I live in Surf City. I said, do you get 2 passes? She says, yes. Okay, I said, so you're concerned about Hampstead. So I pulled some numbers out. You know, for example, we need $3.3 million annually for the initial construction, plus a 6-year renourishment cycle on top of the almost $21 million that we have already saved to be put aside for our federal project. And this project, you know, federal is going to be about $273 million. So we have to come up with funds, money, okay? And so, you know, I appreciate Pender County giving us $180,000. That's super nice of them, okay? But it's a very small amount in the scope of things back to us. And I don't have a problem with that because I understand what it takes to run it. But my concern was this. Okay, so for example, I pay Pender County taxes, right? And I pay Surf City taxes. Okay, right? Yeah, that we all do. We pay double tax here, okay? And then I cannot get in Pender County the sewage dump to be able to dump my stuff, which is about $250. Garbage, whatever. It's whatever it is, thank you. So I can't go to the Pender County dump and dump there, even though I pay taxes in Pender County. Does that make sense to y'all? So this is a logistical thing to me here. So it's sort of the same flip, okay? A Hampstead resident or Sneeds Ferry resident or Holly Ridge, I love them, I'm glad they come, but they're not paying any taxes here, okay, for the usage of these wonderful beaches. They've got to be maintained. They've got to be taken care of. So one of the things, and Don, I got to tell you something. I've been dying to talk about this. I know I'm running my mouth off, but I am fired up about this because I believe that we have done the right thing as a council in doing this process. And it ain't affected our businesses. Hasn't your business done better than ever? Shako Taco's business here. All our businesses are growing like crazy. People have found, it's not a big deal. So I just want to make sure, look at our law enforcement. We were bogged down with tickets. Is that right, Chief Voorhees? Year after year, you're bogged down. You've got officers dealing with that process. We don't deal with that process anymore because Pivot handles that process. So I can't say enough about how we've done the right thing for this process. And the money's been earmarked for the beach. It's not earmarked for a new something, a new police car, a new something. It's been earmarked for the beach. So we're doing the right things as a city council. I'm sorry for running my mouth off about this, but I wanted people to know that I support this. It's right. It's good. We've protected our citizens. We've looked out for our citizens. Oh, last one. This is a big one. I rent a property here long term, but I can't get 2 parking passes. I have rentals. A lot of these councilmen have rentals. You have rentals, some of you. It is your responsibility to give that long-term renter those 2 passes for that property that you own. Not the cities. We're not going to get in the middle of that. We're not landlords. So you go contact, I'm glad we're on record, everybody hearing this, okay? You now can contact the homeowner and say, give me the 2 passes. And if they don't, you got to work that out, not us. So I apologize for running my mouth off. I did want to ask one thing, though. I'd like the council to request the council to direct the town clerk, this is a difference, to research and bring back recommendations on how standing committees can be appoint subcommittee members either for existing committees or members to the public. So for example, if a committee, I'm not talking about any, but if a committee wants to appoint a subcommittee for a specific purpose or a member appointed outside the standing committee should be vetted or agreed on by the committee chair or the council liaison. So I'm requesting that we would get the clerk just to do some homework and get it back to us on the workshop, if you don't mind. It wasn't on the agenda, but I figured if I could request that, the clerk to work on that, she could bring that back from us, just so I could get some clarification on it, and just so we have a much more defined answer on subcommittees in the future, new ones, not existing ones, because the existing ones are good, but some new ones. So thank you for consideration on that. I don't know and that's it. I'm sorry for running my mouth off, but I want to do that, so thank you.
What do you want, an amen after that?
Sorry, I normally don't talk at all hardly anymore. I really shut my mouth, but I told Councilman Fowler I was going to do this, and he said, go ahead. Dawn? Okay. Oh, jeez. Okay. All right. Thank you for your time.
All right.
Thank you, Council. Appreciate it.
I'm not going to take that long. I just want to appreciate everybody coming, and I'm in the same boat to Jeremy. I support the parking. It's worked out great. David, I'm glad to see you doing well. I hope you are. Glad to see you here, and I'm glad to see everybody here. We would love to have you back. and don't make it a one-time affair, please come back. The budget, it was worked on hard. I know that it's tough on a lot of our department heads because they need vehicles and everything, but we got to do what's right for the town right now. And hopefully with that extra tax that Onslow's going to give us, that'll give us some opportunities to purchase some vehicles that we need. And that's all I have.
Okay. Ms. Vance.
So, thank you all for coming. I think we have more in attendance when we have the 4:30 meetings than we ever did before. Citizens that do come, they care about their community. Our communication has become so much greater than it's ever been before. So the positive responses that we get from our citizens tonight, that shows that our communication has improved. After Hurricane Florence, James was put on the spot, and we put him as our EOC director, which has solved a lot of our planning issues. So I feel that we are, I don't want to say ready for a storm because no one's ever ready for a storm, but we are more prepared now than I think that we've ever been in the past. And so I appreciate James and all of the other departments that work with James in order to prepare us for hurricane season. As far as the budget is concerned, you know, all the departments, they asked for the sun and the moon, and we gave them a star. But they know that Kyle and Dave and the rest of the finance crew was going to hold them to a tight line and do what was best for our town. And as you can see by Kyle's remarks, he does a remarkable job in putting everything together for all of our employees, the town council. He keeps us very organized, and I feel that he doesn't get enough thank yous. So thank you again, Kyle. And I think that's all I have. So the preacher's going to come Thursday and pray for us, and he's going to pray for all the hurricanes to stay away, really hard. And then we're going to have a race on Saturday in Surf City, a fitness race. And then Sunday is Mother's Day, so don't forget about your moms. And that's it. I'm done.
You done?
I'm done.
You covered about everything. Okay. That Jeremy hadn't already covered.
And I would go along with Jeremy as far as what, having the clerk investigate how to proceed with subcommittees. If everyone else is on the same page, I am okay with.
That's fine.
With that.
Okay, Mr. Buddy.
Thank you, Mayor. It's good to see Jeremy fired up a little bit. He and I talked a little bit yesterday, but in all honesty, you know, we get hit with a lot of different things, as most municipalities and county commissioners do. And you try to find a medium ground, you try to do what's best, and you try to be frugal spenders of the resources you're given to guard and represent. And I think this council has done that. They are very frugal spenders. A good way to look at it, I guess, is not saying try to drink champagne on a beer budget, but we have a beer resource.
Beer budget, yeah.
But we try to provide champagne service.
Right.
So, but we do. You know, a lot of people think it's things are different. They can come in, and everybody's entitled to their opinion. I defended this country. Glad to do it, and would do it again if I could reverse my age. But that's your opinion. Doesn't mean it's right. Doesn't mean it's wrong. That's your opinion. I can agree with it. I can disagree with it. We can come together and come up with something different that we can both support. But this council does all of that, and you should be proud of the council. They put their heads together. We have a few knots. We have a few hairs missing. Some of us are gray-headed. But getting down to the business and doing business for the town, their heart's in the right place. And they're always there for the community and what is best for the community, not what's best for them or what's most popular for their friend or popular for them. They do what is best for the town and the citizens of Surf City. And they have done this for a right good while since I've been on the board and before I got on the board. And this is a wonderful place to live with wonderful citizens, a very generous community. We have a lot of wealth and knowledge in this community. We have a lot of wealth, period, in this community with their generosity, their knowledge, and they're willing to do and can do. They have a can-do attitude. I think you'll find that on any street you go on in Surf City. So that's why I say it was good to see Jeremy fired up. We did talk about some things, and he was talking about the park, and I told him, I said, speak your mind. I think he did, and I agree with him. But anytime you have a question, anytime you have a concern, I strongly recommend to go to the town's website, go to that department, or go to that area that you're looking for answers from, and try to find it there first. If you can't get there, get a hold of our manager. And then if all else fails, get a hold of one of us. We'll get back to you. May not be the answer you want, but you'll get an answer. And I'm very thankful to be able to represent you. And Dave, it's good to see you and your wife here. We've missed you a while. Glad to see you're doing well. And I'm thankful for all of y'all that's come, and getting back to the time that Teresa was talking about. We've moved these meetings 2 times or 3 times, trying to do for it. And it's according, you got roughly 3,000 to 4,000 people here in Surf City or more. And if you put a poll out, you're not going to find a good split poll. But we've tried to do. We've held it in the afternoons like we've done it. We've held it at night. We've alternated. There's never going to be a good time. But what she said is true. Our meetings have been more attended in this time frame than they have in the old time frame. So what is a good time? I don't know. I have no idea. But this time seems to work for most people. And I can tell you one thing. If I had a concern, and if I owned a business and I had a concern, and the town council meeting was held at 12 o'clock in the day, I would make arrangements for me to be there to represent my concern and my business to that town council. It's just, in fact, it's that important, I would be there. I wouldn't make excuses, because if they do, then it's my fault if I'm not there. And with that, again, I thank you all. Thank you for the opportunity to serve you. That's it, Mayor.
Thank you, sir. All right, Big John.
Well, I'm glad to see that the new guy got to go last, because it was putting a little pressure on me. But anyway, since I've been appointed, I've lived here for 9 years. Moved from up north down here. I won't take as long as my esteemed colleague down at the end did, but lived here for 9 years, got involved in a lot of different projects here, Parks and Rec Committee and stuff like that. Thought I had a little bit better handle on exactly what the inner workings of this town was until I got this appointment, and I've been with Kyle, and he took me around and showed me around, met and talked to a lot of the people that work here, and I've got to say, in all the places that I've lived, this town, for its size and for the amount of people that take care of it, they do one heck of a job. The inner workings of the people that live here and work here, it just amazed me. You know, I've seen this. Went to touring facilities today, and you know, the guys that are working here are doing a heck of a job. From the guys that work on the outside to the people that work in this building, and I just don't think that the average citizen really realizes exactly what makes this city tick. But I've got to tell you, it's an amazing group of people. Glad that we had the budget worked on by these guys, and you know, it's always great when you don't have to pay any more taxes. You know, I've come from a few different areas where the taxes were absurd, but to keep the taxes that are an even keel is really good. You know, we have to do what we got to do to maintain what we need, and of course, there's always more things that you want that maybe you need, but you can't get. But anyway, that's all I got, and I'm glad that I got appointed, and I'm going to try to do my best to do what I have to do for you people. That's all I can say. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate everybody. All the council had some good comments to make. In talking about the parking, in other words, people visiting here, that gives them a chance to invest in the town. So it should make them feel like they are invested in the town, and so make them feel a little better at seeing what's going on and, you know, be part of it. So that's one reason. But now the citizens are very invested. We were talking about it. Yeah, they get free parking, 2 free parking passes, but now they pay 10-cent tax each year on their property for beach nourishment only. So they're paying a big chunk to beach nourishment. That's a lot more than having to just buy a parking pass to park a car. So, I mean, the citizens are not getting away with anything, but it just gives them a little bit of a break. But like I say, and then all of our employees, most of them are really from here, and they enjoy working with the town, and they put a lot of extra time in doing things for the town to make it what it is. And you know, if you stop and think about it, we're really a town of about 3,000 people, right? But then on the other hand, we're really a town of about 40,000 people, and probably even more right there in the middle of the summer. So, I mean, they have a lot of work to do to keep the town going for 40,000 people. And, but they do it and keep it going all the time. So we appreciate the fire department, the police department, and the utilities department. They are all working hard at keeping this town going. Okay, that's all I've got to say. Now we'll turn it over to our Mr. Attorney.
Thank you, Mayor and Council. I don't have a report.
You don't?
Yes, sir. Other than I'm glad that staff got the budget to you, and glad to see that's passed. I'm sure they're all happy that that's behind us for this year. So,
yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Some of them said if they knew you didn't have anything to talk about, they'd have talked some more. But anyway.
I'm good, but thank you, Mayor.
We appreciate it. Okay, does anybody else have anything else for the good of the town?
I make a motion, we gotta go in closed session. NCGS 143-318-11, parentheses A, parentheses 6, personnel.
Okay. We are ready.
We got a second?
Yeah. Got a second? Yeah, all in favor? Aye. Okay. Okay. Okay.
motion, we adjourn the closed session.
Closed session. Okay, and there was no
Second.
decisions made into closed sessions. Oh, you got a second, and we got everybody in favor?
Aye.
Okay, and no decisions made in closed session, right, council?
No action was taken.
No action was taken. Okay, so now, do we want to close the meeting?
Motion, we adjourn.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.